Okay, so I'm here with Ger Harris today in SBG Charlestown. You're a 1-0 professional fighter. I just want to go through your career from the start. What got you into MMA and why and when, basically?
Well, first kicked off. I done a little bit of boxing as a kid. I was up in the Broadstone with me. I was with Richie Fox, and done a little bit. Left the gym then. Like I was in and out of the boxing club. I went up to. Then I was playing football in town and that. And then I had eventually one of my mates had said to me he was joining. He was joining MMA or joining kickboxing or something, and I was like it was always a little thing in Ballymun. It was like if I was living like on Air Road, it was like, who's the best fighter, know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not having another cunt be able to battle me. So I was like, fuck that. I goes, I'll go. He goes, will you come up with me? I was like, yeah, too right, thinking I'm not letting this fella punch the head off me. So I went up to him, and then it ended up just being like, it ended up being this gym on, like it ended up like the one around the corner. Ended up being a primal, fucking with Owen, and we were grappling, and just started from there, like.
Oh, perfect. So, obviously, being from Ballymun, you said, was that a thing? Did everybody have to fight in Like, was that?
No, not really. It was just a little thing. It's like you're a good footballer, a good hurler, a good Gaelic player, or you can fight. Know what I mean? And that'll be what everybody sort of judges you off when you're a kid, like. Know what I mean? When I was always small, know what I mean? So I was like a Jack Russell, had to fucking stand up for myself and give a few clatters out, like. Know what I mean?
Yeah, no. So going on to that, you done the boxing, the kickboxing, and then when did you make your MMA amateur debut? And tell us the feeling of what it was like actually going in, like the lead up to the fight, like waiting out the back to walk, and then getting in there. Was it nerve wracking or?
Do you know what? I had my amateur debut, and I think it was either 2016 or 2017. And I was at the being trained that long by then. Like I started training in fucking 2011. Like that's when I started up with Roddy. Like so I was at the doing all the MMA leagues, all the competition, all the jits competitions. I had won pretty much. I don't think I had ever like I've got gold medals in all the MMA competitions. I don't think I had ever lost like any MMA matches. A couple of jiu-jitsu matches here and there, but that's jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean? You're gonna get caught by somebody. But again I fought me like little bit of nerves, but nothing major because it was more like it's about time now. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm dying to get fucking in here and actually piece someone up.
And then obviously your first one was a win. You have, I believe it's 10 fights, amateur fights, is
10
it?
amateur, yeah.
Were you always planning on having 10, and like what made you turn pro?
The thing with Roddy always said make sure we get 10, but then as the years are going on, like some lads are getting like having 15, 20s, and then like it was more like with the IMAFs, people were getting a couple of fights a week, or like they were getting a couple of fights in the 1 week, like at them competitions, and then their regional shows they were competing on them as well. Like the likes of Mo Mokiev, he had what fucking 20, 27 amateur fights or something.
26 or something.
Was like I just could never get fights. Nobody wanted to put their name on stake. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always found trouble getting fights, and the thing Owen always said like we'll get 10 fights and then we'll move on. Know what I mean? So that was sort of, I had that in my head from when I was younger. So once I hit the 10 mark, I was like, right, I'm bleeding. I want to move on now.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. How frustrating is it as a fighter in a sport where everyone's supposed to be fighters and want to fight the best of the best, that you're getting turned down at amateur when you want that experience and you need that experience? And then we had COVID as well for 2 years. Like, how frustrating was that for you?
Yeah, it's an absolute nuisance, to be honest. It's fucking, like, you're getting that, like, seeing people putting up posts or bleeding, we're looking for flyweights, we're looking for this, we're looking for that, and you're like, yeah. Or they're at the saying no, or they take the fight 2 days later, or no, they're not, and then you see them on a fight poster with a different flyweight or something like that, know what I mean? Like a couple of times lads pulling out the week of the fights, and I understand injuries and stuff, but like, is your bleeding LCL, like ACL torn, or your fucking whatever, know what I mean? Or is it bleeding, or have a bruised thumb?
Yeah.
Know what I mean? You never really get a full answer off them anyway, or like if it was me, if I had bleeding, bruised ribs, broken fingers, I'm still jumping in there, know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not going to bother you the day of the fight, like.
Yeah, no. With the adrenaline, I'd say you'd fight through the pain. Like
But
if they
it's
were
not even
smaller.
that. It's like most MMA lads train all year round, and like you're constantly going. Like if you don't like, if you have no injuries, you're lucky. Know what I mean? Like you've obviously touched wood. Know what I mean? There's like there's always a little niggle here and there. Know what I mean? It's nearly impossible. You're fucking rolling around with bleeding. Lads, you double your weight, half your like a time and a half of your weight. Like there's nobody I don't give up fucking 8 kilo for in this gym. Know what I mean? And you're constantly moving around with lads who are a bit stronger than you. Like you're gonna pick up niggles. Know what I mean? So it's like even like I remember from my last fight I had fucking my rotator cuff, or it was like my knee felt a little bit dodgy, or my back was sore, and it was never at one point did I ever think to myself, yeah, fuck this, I'm not fighting just in case I do have a niggle in my back. Fuck that, know what I mean? Like if I was able to perform in the gym, I'm gonna go in and round this young fella's day, and then I'll get it sorted, and that's it. Know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like that, as a fighter, are you ever really at 100%?
Yeah, like if you do your recovery right, that's something I found in my last camp. I doubled down on my recovery, trying like doing the same this camp, and I felt like it was more knowing like some days your head's not in it and you're like, oh, I don't want to go up and play and get the clatters tonight. You go up and that's your best night in the gym. Know what I mean? You look like fucking Sugar Ray out there.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? Other days your head's in it and your body's not there, and you go up and you get battered by bleeding like all the young'uns, now the
Yeah.
up and comers, and you're like, what the fuck's going on here? So it's like it's finding the fine line and which days you hit and which days you don't, and what days should I be in the recovery realm, or like I was out like that whole camp, last camp I used the off grid recovery realms out in Bray, like just not like recoveries, you're not getting rushed through it, just nice chilled out, like into the sauna in an ice bath, intervals in through them, and I found that made a huge difference to me camp. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just getting in there during the week, and also doing like your recoveries during the week. Like I was trying to get in where at the physio in the gym here, Adam, next stage injury therapy. In with him once a week. Like he's breaking down all the little niggles and stuff. So like staying on top of things like that, your recovery through physios or whatever way you like to do it, whether it's sea swimming or whatever. It's like you find that fine line at like, right, make these sessions right. If the body's not there, it's probably best off to hold off, get into the physio, then hit the next session.
And that's I see that more and more lately. Is it something that used to happen years ago as well, or is it just more? It's out there more for people to see, obviously with Instagram and stuff like that. You see all these recovery rooms.
I think it's just that it's like anything. Know what I mean? People are bleeding. It's like selling dogs now. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every fucking second cunt has a fucking French bulldog page up.
Yeah, I've
Know what I
noticed
mean?
that.
It's just the way it is. There's bully pages up all over the place. But where the recovery rooms are a bit of a hit, because there's like many football teams are around Finglas. There's a recovery room in Finglas now. How many football teams are anywhere other than MMA gyms? Know what I mean? They're going to be running through them. So it's a good business. Know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's going to be booming anyway. But I think just recovery in general, I think people are being a lot smarter with things now, and they're learning to look after their bodies a lot better. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's just more in the sense of fucking everybody just being a little bit more clued in.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to say. How long ago did you start doing the recovery and taking it that seriously? Because it's like when I talk to a lot of people, it's just they want to train hard, and they don't recover. And recovery is a part of training, essentially. Like how long into your career, or were you doing it from the start?
Like probably like I started seeing Adam from when I was about 15. Like I remember I got a little niggle in my back, and he was just across the road, and I just went to him anytime I had a niggle or there was something wrong. And like, you know, when you're bleeding and you're a young fella, you're like a fucking sponge or a bendy spring. It doesn't take too much to get you fixed. Like, and then as I got older, I just tried to look after the body a little bit more, smarter with training partners more than anything, and yeah, things like that. Then like there's Darren out on the Artame Road in Dublin, Physicare Dublin. Like he's looked after me like the last few years as well, probably like since around the same time. Like, so I've always been in with physios, but the likes of recovery rooms and stuff I'm only starting to use them now. But I think it's just probably more being smart with your training. I think you don't need to do so much recovery.
Yeah, that you're not beating up your body.
Yeah, the
Like,
body's not battered, or even if you're putting in hard, like one thing Tristan Kennedy put me onto is like if I do 3 days hard, make sure I have the third day off, and I think that made a huge difference. Like when like he was doing me nutrition, that made a huge difference. I felt because it was like didn't matter, like the fuel is gonna fuel you anyway, but it's like yeah, you can do your 3 days hard, but eventually it's like you can do 5 days hard. Yeah, Grant. You try to do 6 days, that's when everything unravels, and or you get caught with something more. You know
yeah,
what I mean? I found that made a big difference. Like understanding actually just having a whole day where you don't do anything and letting the body look after itself. Like recovery's in sleep anyway. Know what I mean?
yeah,
So if you have the full day off and you're getting the kip in, and I found that made a huge difference in camps as well. Know what I mean? Understanding, right, I need a day off, or like mixing it up. I know if I'm going to be sparring on Thursday, I'm obviously not going to take Thursday off. I might take the Tuesday off and do a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Know what I mean?
yeah. And then have the influence, have the breaks, have the recovery. How is your weight? Do you walk around close to your weight? Do you use a nutritionist, or do you do your own nutrition?
Like I working with Stephen Floyd at the moment. I'm only at the getting with him for this camp, so I'm only starting to work with him. So gonna be starting to build a relationship, and probably the like walk around weights might change in the future. I don't know, but just like previously and stuff, I walked around at about like I used to walk around at like 59 kilo. Now I know I'm getting older and getting a bit bigger and stronger, but I used to walk around at like 60 kilo a couple of weeks out from fights. Like then if I like just with training for the fights, I'd be around 57 kilo. Then week of like before the week of where most lads are only cutting down to bleed that on the day. You know what I mean? I yeah, those just yeah, that's more or less that.
Yeah, so you're smart with it. You're not going in and cutting a huge
Yeah,
amount.
now I'm cutting down from about 64 kilo now at the moment. Know what I mean? A little bit bigger, like, but that's probably working. Like I'm at the up in my strength and conditioning in the last two camps, so I had never done it before this. Done a little bit of gymnastics when I was a kid, so I always had an okay frame. Know what I mean? Other than that, yeah, no.
Yeah, perfect. Right. So I also want to touch on something. You were at the IMAS in your amateur career as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk us through that experience and what you think that has helped you going forward to the end of your amateur career and then the start of your pro career. Is there anything you really took away from it?
Just the level you're competing with, really. You know what I mean? Or, like over there was like you're in the same house. Like the only mad experience I had where it really like, and it didn't really bother me too much. I know a lot of people do. Like I even knew from the lads and the way they was like the way they were worrying about their fights and nerves and things like that. It's like over there, yeah, living in a hotel or you like wherever the facility is. Like I remember when we were in Rome, it was we were on a campsite. It's like in the hotel, it's like the Bahrain team, the Russian team, Ireland, England. There's like 5 or 6 different countries in the hotel, probably
Yeah.
more, and you're competing against them. You're going down, you're cutting weight with them. Like you're going down if you want to do a bit, like get a bit of training on the mats. Like there's lads down training on the mats already. There's lads watching you, because like at the end of the day, it's like oh yeah, Team Ireland. Like if I saw lads that were looking like me and Nate and like the likes of Gary Rooney and stuff, if I seen like how they were fighting, I would have kept a little eye out, know what I mean? And being like, he's playing level changing a lot there in his drills or little things like that, something
Yeah.
that that we might be able to replicate in the warm up of the fight or just a day or two before. Just like you're prepared for all that anyway, but just might be something you can watch and imitate for them. And I know them, like all them lads and all the lads on the team, because you're a team at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Regardless of you fight as each other regional or not, you're gonna look out for each other,
Yeah.
aren't you? So the only really like it was great to like fight a couple of times in the 1 week as well, but I found the only like real mad experience about it was like having like having who you were gonna fight, not knowing who you were gonna fight, and having like all these lads who are like there to fight, all in the same place, same area. Like you're sitting in the sauna, and there's playing 15 lads sitting on each other's shoulders in the sauna, and you're sort of like just looking, and then lads are like, "Who are you fighting? And what's your name?" And Know what I mean? They know who you're fighting already. Know what I mean? Because it all goes up on the my next match, or they're like, he's in her lads division, and it's little things like that. Know what I mean? I only found, like, that's the maddest thing I found about it. But like little things like that never got to me. Know what I mean? Like, I'll smile in your face one minute and I'll smash your face in the next minute. Like, I have no problem with that. No problem being best mates with someone. And like, if it's like someone I've trained with, it's like, you're not really gonna fight them unless it's for a belt. But if it's decided to get into the UFC, or if it's like for the UFC title or something, like, you better believe I'm coming to take your fucking head off, and that's it. Know what I mean? For regional shows and that, just like, I'm not too fussed about it. It's like, I don't need to fight bleeding my next door neighbour, or a lad I've done 100 rounds with, because there's a whole fucking pool of fighters out there. There's a whole world full of fighters. Know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I understand that, and that's what I think as well. When you're going to professional, obviously you're professional. I think, especially in the early stages, less Irish fighters should fight Irish fighters at the early stages.
Well, like, I don't, early stages, I think they should fight each other a lot more, and then obviously you'll probably move on into Ireland and the UK, or Ireland and up north, and like, I don't think it should matter who you fight in your amateur career anyway. Obviously, like, when you go pro, like, you're a business. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's the way it should be looked at. Like, you shouldn't be fighting bums, because then when it comes to taking the big jump, you're not going to be ready. But you have to be obviously thinking smart about it as well. It's like, fights that suit, fights that make sense. There's no point in fighting fucking, like, it's no point in me going over to Thailand and fighting some fellow who has 700 Thai fights.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? Like, no doubt in my head I'm going to beat them anyway, but it's like, you're going to take some damage in that fight. Know what I mean? It's like, regardless, you're going to fight, like, fight smart, fight people who are on the, like who are 1-on-1 as well, or like I've had to, like, my first pro fight, I took a 3-2, but I knew from my amateur career that he wasn't, like, I knew he wasn't better than me. I know there's not many of them better than me out there anyway, but it's like, there's a difference of taking a risk of, like, taking someone who's 9-0 and then only being able to fight killers. Know what I mean? Or you can take 3s and 2s and 1s and 1-on-1s and build yourself up, and then as you get more fights, the fights will get harder. Right? Anyway, know what I mean? Like, you could go over and fight, like, in Russia, and you can get some young fella who's doing sambo his whole life, and he's just gonna hug you and hold you on the floor. Like, that's not gonna make your name look good for fucking the UFC, is it?
No, definitely not. And have you found, obviously you fought Kieran, he was 3-2. Were you finding it hard to get matched for your first pro fight?
Yeah, I think I had, like, Paul had come to me with 3 or 4 fights, and, like, saying, yeah, like, to me it's like, well, have a look. I don't really need to have a big look into them. I know Paul and Roddy will do that anyway. Sort of, if Roddy says it goes, know what I mean? Like, if, like, to me, if you showed me any name on the card, I'd say, yeah, give me him. I don't give a fuck who it is. Like, I know in my head, like, there's nobody standing. Like, in my head, I'm not going in there to win a medal or, like, win a competition. I don't care. Like, belts and all, I do care about. Yeah, it's great for what, like, for you and for people to see, oh, he's winning belts. But, like, I couldn't care if I was fighting someone in this round. Know what I mean? For nothing. Because, like, I just want to be the best fighter, and that's it. Like, I want to get out there and ruin people's day every week if I could, and that's just it. Like, to me, it's like, yeah, it's great. Like, it's great to be a good fighter. Like, it's great to be a good fighter and to win all these belts and, like, have a good record, 9-0. But, like, who are you fighting? Know what I mean? Like, people don't talk about Mike Tyson and say, like, they'll probably talk about a skill set and stuff if they know a bit of boxing and stuff, but they're not like, youngest world heavyweight champ, or like his skill level, like, is like some of the footwork he done would have been up on par with, like, some of the stuff Lemachenko's doing now, who's seen as, like, probably one of the best ever, like, for footwork wise. But they say, like, he was the most vicious man to ever do it. That's what I want. I don't want people, like, there's going to be 50 world champs after me. Fuck that, know what I mean? I want to be the people, when they look at a list of world champions, that fella, he was a fucking killer. Or if there's people, like, talking to my fucking great grandkids in time, know what I mean? When I'm fucking dead and gone, to say, oh, your great granddad was one of the most vicious people ever step in the ring. Because when I step in the ring, like even if it goes to decision, you better believe he's gonna leave with his face round, or he's gonna be leaving there with something broken. Because when I go in there, I'm going in there to finish it. Know what I mean? If I don't finish it, it's not a win in my head. It's a win, but like only if I'm at the haunt you. Know what I mean? If it's a split decision and it's like it was like a fairly level fight, in my head I want to go back and do it again. Know what I mean? Or give me another round with him, because I know I can finish anybody. So I don't like. I want to finish fights. I want to be out here. I want to make a fucking name. I want to prove while I'm one of the best. I'm not worried about fucking like having a good record is good, but I want people to say like, "Geez, this fella fought all the best." And if you lose to someone who's probably like in my head, I'm the best. So if you lose to someone on your level, yeah, right, Grant, go get them the next time. Know what I mean? Because in my head, if I have the belt, they have to come and get it then. That's the only thing the belt means for me. It's yous know I'm the top dog now. Come and get it.
Yeah, no, I like that as well, especially with the belt, because especially obviously you've got a pro belt. In amateurs, they talk about the belts not meaning much, but what I say to most amateurs is, if you've got the belt, the top people are going to want that belt, so you're going to get the best fights.
Yeah, but to be honest, that's where I see like a lot of a lot of lads getting like a win here and there, and then they're offered a title, like a title shot, like loads of people saying, "Oh, this many amateur titles." Yeah, no, fucking like I know the likes of like Gary Rooney, like without a doubt he's one of the best flyweights in the country. He's fucking. I've trained with him. I've put in hours with him. I've trained together since we're kids. Like I know the likes of him. He'll go out and fight anybody, and he's fighting everybody who has a belt.
Yeah.
But it's like there's a lot of people who win amateur titles out there who probably don't deserve amateur titles, and you'll know because they lose the next one, or they lose.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? Where I feel there's a little bit more of a there's a little bit more over in the UK, I think, for that sort of thing. There's a lot more lads wanting to fight the best of the best, and like I know from seeing it firsthand from Aspire. Like I train over in Aspire as well. Like the likes of Marlon and Liam and Scott Johnson, like all them boys and all the lads in that gym, they only fight the best of the best, because like Dean and Phil would only let it be that way. They don't want you fighting bums. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I know there's a lot of other gyms that think that way over there because of like I seen them at the IMAFs. I go over there and train. I've trained with like a lot of bodies over there, and like from speaking to them, I know their mindsets like that. Where I speak to a lot of people over here, and like some people are, but a lot more aren't. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not. Like it's like that mindset isn't there yet. It's like they say they want to fight the best of the best, but are they doing the walking as well? Know what I mean?
Yeah, no, Gary's a good example, obviously. Gary's actually never been beaten on Irish soil. Actually, when I was doing my research on it, he's never been beaten in Ireland. He's only been beaten at IMAF competitions.
Well, there he's only being beaten at the world level. Know what I mean? And like that'll like that. It's he'll only like that'll stand to him. Know what I mean? That'll stand to him when he goes pro.
Yeah, and he's got 4 belts now, so it's good to see. There's a couple more promotions coming up, so he might get a couple more belts. He said he wants to beat Alexander O'Sullivan's 30.
Yeah, it'd be good to see. Like if there's a man who can do it, it's probably Gary. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Carl McConway from here might be close to doing it very soon.
Carlito's close as well. Carl's the dog's bollocks, if you ask me. That fella, he just loves fighting. Know what I mean? I'd love to see him. Love to see him improve a lot in this gym and fucking make a little bang on the pro scene himself, because a couple more fights, I think he's thereabouts, picks up his striking a little bit. I think he's at the wobbling a couple of his last opponents, so you can see where his striking's at the coming along. So it'd be great to see what he's going to do on the next, like when we actually have a lot of time to work with him. Know what I mean? Yeah, he's a credit to the gym as well, Carl. He's fucking great for rounds for me anyway. Know what I mean? Like, he's probably as close to an Eastern European or a Russian you're gonna get. Know what I mean? That fucker will hold onto your leg like a fucking Jack Russell with 2 flutes and he. Know what I mean? He won't let you go.
No, he is good. Obviously, he came up from Charlene, so did Andres, but that's another conversation for another day as well. I actually want to touch on, because we barely touched on it, your pro. Obviously, we talked about your amateur debut, what it felt like. How did the pro differ? Like, was there more nerves, or was it because you'd done that walk so many times?
Do you know what? Like I said in my head, I was already ready to go pro. Like like I remember people saying it to me when I had won the world championships, and I was a bit like, I remember saying it to Roddy, and he was like, "No, you're not there yet." Know what I mean? Or like people, and I was like, "Yeah." Like there's like I was looking at some flyweights and stuff, and I was like, I know we could beat them. But then it's more like cage time. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is what you're missing. Like, I think that's I think that's the biggest thing between an amateur and a pro career. It's like your decision making and your cage time. The more cage time, the better your decision making is going to be. The more comfortable you're in there. Where I felt at the fight, my last amateur fight, I my decision making wasn't perfect in it, but I knew it. Like my decision making wasn't perfect, but I knew I had a lot more to give in that fight. Where it was like I let him smother me style. I was falling into his game, and then I knew getting ready for the pro jump. The only thing that was different for me was like l- like in the gym. I feel like whatever techniques you're doing, you should be practicing in sparring. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'd be always taking risks in me fight simulators and things like that, like trying techniques I was at the doing that week, or if I wanted to work on like single legs, I'd be like shooting in and attempting single legs in me fight simulators. Where now I do all that in me sparring on me Thursday and Wednesday nights, and then I leave all like I stick to my game plan in the fight simulator, and I think that stood to me in that last fight where I was touch and move and cracking him and moving off, and when he was connecting with me, disengaging. Now, when like all my amateur fights are also like I think I've two decision wins, a TKO, and the rest of them are subs. Like I know I can sub anybody on them mats. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's nobody who walk onto them mats and I won't catch, like regardless of belt or whatever. Like there's I believe me ability that much, but I know my striking is like it's levels above this, and anybody will tell you that I've moved around with. Know what I mean? Um, and it doesn't matter the way, like, and the shots I land, I know I can pour anybody out. So it's like sticking to me guns in fights and more sticking to the game plan. I think was the biggest thing that like I made a difference in me fight camp preparation and stuff like that. But the walk and stuff, I felt like I was already ready for. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're the things you're building up into. Like these are your little milestones. These are the things you're building yourself up for. Like coming up to these fights, it's like for me, I'd be walking past the mirror and telling myself I'm the fucking best there ever was. Know what I mean? Like when I before I go training, it's like I'm not telling myself I'm gonna go up and hurt days because they're my training partners, but
Yeah.
you better believe telling myself nobody's gonna touch me up here, or like that's what's going through my head. Like if I'm on the mats and someone caught me last week, better believe your name's on the bill. Know what I mean? Not to go out and hurt them, but just to make sure the next round I get with them, I outclass them and prove they're not on my level. Know what I mean? And that's just the way I think. Like that's the way my mindset is for that anyway. And I think prepping for fights, if I like the lads I'm moving around with here, like the likes of like Andreas and like Ryan Curtis, like he's had to going up to FIA now, but like we now training with the likes of them, like Scott Harvey, like all the lads I've trained with coming up through the years, like Aiden, like Alex Fagan at the moment, Carl Conway, all these lads, like Gary, all these lads winning belts. I know I'm going in and winning rounds against these lads, and like these lads are coming in and taking rounds off me, and I know if it's only the lads who are the best of the best are taking rounds off me, good. Know what I mean? I know if someone like the only day someone who's like not as good as me takes a round off me is if I'm weathered, if I'm not playing, looking after me recovery and things.
Yeah.
Like there's like no doubt in my head I can beat everybody any day on the mat. I can take every round off them. But I think it's just like that's the way your mindset has to be. And I think if your your prep is right, your mindset is right, nobody can beat you in there. And if they do, they'll probably have to preparing as much as you were, or you didn't have enough heart. Know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I really like your mindset and obviously how you're saying your instructions, your fight simulations, and then how you stick to the plan. You won the cage conflict belt. You're actually going to be defending that belt the 23rd of July. Do you want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah, I'm fucking buzzing. Know what I mean? I just can't wait to fight now. Like I don't really care too much about fights gone by. Know what I mean? People like to fucking sit on their fights and like, I've had a class win there. Like, fuck that, know what I mean? On to the next one. I'm just buzzing to get this. Like, we 3-4 weeks out now. Like, I'm starting to get the buzz about it, where it's like the closer the fight gets, the more excited you get about it. Know what I mean? And
Yeah.
the more fight simulators you're doing, the more prepared you're feeling, and sort of like getting into that stage of the camp now where like getting the fight simulators in. So starting to get prepared for it. But just sort of looking forward to it now. Now that opponent is good, he's tricky on the floor. Me and Owen have looked at him. He's tricky on the floor. He has a little bit of stand up, but I'm gonna butcher this fella. Like, it's without a doubt, I'm gonna open this fella's face up with elbows from everywhere. Like, he's gonna be diving from my legs from as soon as he walks into that cage. Like, without a doubt, there's no doubt in my mind, this fella's he's nowhere near me. Like, yeah, he has a couple of fights on his record, but that's what we look at. We look at who you fought. He's fought nobody's, know what I mean? 1-on-1s, 1-on-0s, bleeding. The only one lad we saying that he fought who was decent, he took a bleeding groin shot and gave up, know what I mean? Didn't even look like he wasn't hurt, know what I mean? You could see it in him. So I know when I put big shots on this fella's chin, he's gonna crumble and he's gonna look for the first way out of there. Whether it's me snatching his neck, or it's me snapping his arm, or it's me putting them shots on his chin, this fella's going away, whatever way I can do it. Like, I'm there to hold that belt now, know what I mean? Like, I'll hold on to that until I get to the UFC if I have to, know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's fueled, know what I mean? It's like anybody who comes after that is like throwing wood on the fire, know what I mean? And I'm the fire, so they're gonna get burnt. Like, I'm here to take them all out, and whoever wants it can have it.
Yeah, so obviously you want to finish because earlier you actually said that you'd see a finish as an actual win, and sometimes if it's a close decision. So you want to go out there and make an absolute statement with this fella, yeah?
Yeah, I think you should be making statement. Like, the way like Roddy's been putting it in, like, he puts it in everybody's head in the gym, whether it's for jiu-jitsu matches, whether it's like, we're not here to win on points. We're here to fucking fight to finish. Know what I mean? You go out there and you fucking look to finish the fight. If you're not trying to do that, you're not trying hard enough. Know what I mean? Like, you have to want that. You have to want that finish. Like I don't know what people want. Know what I mean? What I want to go out there is go out there, win fights, and be known for doing it. Know what I mean? Like, other people want money. If you want the money, go out and finish people and make it look like you want it. Know what I mean? Yeah, I think if you want it enough, you'll go out and try finish. People going out and stalling wins and not looking for finishes, it's not enough. Like, you're not getting to the UFC doing that.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? Like, no kid grows up wanting to play football and doesn't think about going to the Premier League. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they don't think about playing Championship. It's Premier League. You want to be in the Champions League. It's that or the Premier League. Know what I mean? That's the way you think about it. If you want to be a fighter, you want to be one of the best in the world, go to the UFC. If you want to make a living, yeah, Bellator might be your option. But I want to be known as one of the best ever to do it, and I don't want someone to say, yeah, you only made it this far though. Fuck that. Give anybody an excuse to say anything. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go out there, finish your fights, prove you're the best. Go out and fight the best in the world, prove you can beat them.
Yeah.
There's your legacy, know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I actually like that as well, because there is better monetary options in different organisations, but obviously the UFC is the cream of the crop.
Yeah,
basically.
like there's one in Bellator, and like, don't get me wrong, I'd love to fight on them cards, know what I mean? But that's not what it is. It's the UFC is the goal, know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I've built up in my head. That's my goal anyway. Like, I don't care what anybody else's goals are. I don't look down on anybody else's goals. Know what I mean? That's just what I want. In my head, anything else isn't enough for me, personally.
No, and I like that mindset that you're not distracted by the money. You want to be the best fighter, like for legacy, like you said, you want to be known as the most vicious.
Like, don't get me wrong, all that's gonna come, belts, money, the lot. Now, I know the way I speak and the way I fight, people want to come and see me fucking spark people out. And if they don't want to see that, they want to see me get sparked out. But good luck to that, because there's nobody putting me away anyway, know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people are, they're gonna watch whether they love you or hate you.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Doesn't matter, they're watching.
Mayweather, McGregor, for example,
Exactly,
straight
know what
away. Yeah, so obviously we've gone through then what your ambition is, obviously the UFC. I want to talk to you a little bit about Owen Roddy as a coach. When I say Owen Roddy, what words come to mind? What does he mean to you as a coach?
It's like, there's not enough words to put it, like, over Roddy's head for me. Like, Roddy's been my coach since he's 11, like since he's 11, since I'm 11. But Roddy's been my coach since I'm 11, and like, he's always put time into me. He's more than a coach for me. He's family, know what I mean? He's like, it's funny because he's like he's like a father, an uncle, or a brother. He's like all them in one, because it's like, your uncle will always be the one who, like, you'll probably go to and you'll be like, here, I'm at the doing this, or I'm at the fucking up here, or he'll be the one to say, here, knock her on the head, or, know what I mean? Your brother is the person you probably sit down with and you can have a chat with, and like, you can talk about the shit you talk about with nobody else. And then your dad obviously is the person like you look up to, and you want to you want to aspire to be like as well, and like little things like that. Like, he's all them things in one for me, know what I mean? And obviously he's my coach as well, but it's like, I don't know what other way to put it, know what I mean? He's just like, he's the dog's bollocks to me, know what I mean? I'd love to be even a tenth of the fighter he was, know what I mean? Like, he's in here every day putting an extra work in with me, and I'm putting the work in with him, and it's obviously, it's like a bit like there's a friendship there, and then, like, know what I mean? It's I don't know what other ways to put it. It's like, because he's so much for me, so I can't break it down into one thing other than like them, like because to me, family's everything, know what I mean? So, like, putting them on that level is putting them on as high as a seat as you can be, know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. He sounds, from what obviously he's well renowned within the country, and I've heard similar from other fighters.
Like, I know for me, it's like, there's not many people who have a better brain on them mats than me, know what I mean? Not so much off the mats, but when I'm on the mat, I'm like playing Rayman out there, know what I mean? Like, when I'm moving around, I'm playing chess with people. I'm fucking 15 moves ahead of every move you have, not just your next move. Like, any possibility, like, now whether it's you're slipping your head to your left, I have 15 answers for it. Whether it's you shooting a takedown, I have 15 answers for it. Like, it doesn't, and like, I know how to bring that all the way back, like, all the way back to my game, know what I mean? Like, if I land or I separate it, you're right back at the start with me. If we go to the floor, you better believe there's fucking 30 submissions waiting on you there. Like, you're gonna be finished. And that's just the way, like, Roddy, like, it's like, I'd say, like a dog, know what I mean? That's the way he breeds, you know what I mean? That's like I always like found I could always bounce off him, because like his game, like, there's nobody who game plans like Roddy, know what I mean? But also, not even just game plans, just in techniques alone. It's like, we don't just, like, it's great having a good left body kick, but it's like, what's your 10 answers after your left body kick? That's the way Roddy puts you, know what I mean? And like you're ready for any situation. It's a game of chess, know what I mean? And that's the way I like to think about it. It's not go in there and try hitting with your hardest shot, because like, you see so many people, they get in there and they punch someone in the mouth and they say, oh fuck, this fucker's still coming at me. Know what I mean? Yeah, go out, you do it again. If he finds an answer for it, you better have 10 answers for it. I think that's the way he prepares us, and he prepares us to finish fights. So you can probably see that, and you'll see that throughout the kids, know what I mean? That's the way, like, and he's like that for everybody in the gym. He's there to put the work in for you, and like, he gets you ready like that. So if you go into a fight and you don't do all them things, it's not Roddy's fault. It's your own
Yeah.
fault.
So you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have fight IQ, I think is overlooked quite a lot in fighting as well.
Yeah, like there's a lot of lads out there who fucking go out and fight with just fucking heart and they get the job fucking done. Like some people are just winners, know what I
Yeah.
mean? But if you're a winner and you're able to fucking put things together and not get lost in the moment and like read all the situations out and like plan for them. Like when you're in the fight, it's like anybody who says to you who they're thinking in the fight, they're not. You go into that fight and the door closes. Every bit of that is going to be muscle memory. Like I don't care who you are. Like the top of the top lads, like you can see loads of different aspects. Like look at Charles Oliveira. He'll
Yeah.
finish you on the feet. He'll finish you on the floor. He'll stop you wrestling. Like he has so many options because he's been in that situation so many times. Know what I mean? Like that's all muscle memory for him. Like that's what I reckon anyway.
Yeah.
Like when I go into fight, like I'm not thinking, oh, he's slipping his head out to the left here, or he's dipping here, or he's setting up the takedown, or maybe he's throwing a jab and shooting that double. Like I'm not thinking, right, he's throwing that jab and shooting that double. I've already answered it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I should have already answered it. If I killed it with the sprawl, I probably that was late for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The sprawl is your last answer in my
Yeah.
head. Know what I mean? There's so much more defense before that. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I think after that, once you find that, like everybody's timing's different, but once you find their timing, I don't like your shot selection, your game plan will put them away. Like nobody gets in there and thinks it's muscle memory is what gets you, like
Yeah.
is what gets you to win, and your experience and your timing and your ability to put your fight IQ in the cage. You know what I mean? I think that's what you get from experience.
Yeah, especially with Charles, like you said, like he'd lost so many times and then come back, and like you said, he's an answer for everything. If he gets dropped, he lies on the floor and basically says, "Right, come down."
Yeah, but it's like it doesn't even have to be fights you
Yeah.
do that in. It can be your fight simulators in the gym. It's training smart and like having someone like Roddy who like he watches over the spars and he's like if you make the wrong decision after the spar he's working on it with you. Know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you don't wait and make mistakes in fights. Know what I mean? That's too late.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? You've already been hurt then. Like that could be the difference of someone getting knocked out. Know what I mean? Like some people get knocked out and it's their last fight.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? The way the fucking brain scans are there and all over here, it's you don't want to be taking major damage. That's not what you're here for. You're here to do major damage. But it's like in our fight simulators and stuff, if you're not shrimping or if you're not getting to that cage and getting the knee into the cage and getting back up to your feet, if you're stalling on your elbow, like better believe he's drilling that with you and fixing it so it doesn't happen in there. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
no.
that's what like there's your fight IQ building every time because like if you're not realising it, he's telling you. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're still not realising it, it's your own fault. Know what
It's
I
your
mean?
fault. It sounds like he has you well prepared. Obviously, you're going into this fight, the 23rd of July, to defend your belt. I'm going to let you go in a second. We're going to ask you one question. If you wanted people to remember you by one word as a fighter for your legacy, what would that one word be?
Vicious. And that's it. Ready to get in there and fucking kill anybody they put in front of me. Know what I mean? Like that I said already. Not in there for medals. Fuck that. Not in there for trophies. I'm in there to prove I'm the best. Prove I'm the most dangerous fella to ever do this. And that's what I want before fighting the show. Or at least be the most skillful fella to stand in there. Like I don't want to get in a ring and someone ever to say like he was outclassed. I believe I can stand in the ring with the best of the best and never be outclassed. And that's what I want. Know what I mean?
Perfect. I really like that answer. I'm going to ask you one thing before you go as well. There is I don't know, has it started yet, your kids' class or the summer camp? Do you want to speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, so summer camp starting on the 4th, so next week, 4th of July to the 8th, so it's 5 days. Starts from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. It's for experienced and beginners. Like I know there's a lot of kids in the gym already doing it. There's a couple of kids not training so long going to be doing it. But it's going to be walking off sequences like that, getting people prepared to finish. So going to be running through some drills, a little bit of striking, they might block, get a takedown, work from the takedown, then get the finish, and getting them prepared for looking for finishes, and just getting that technique right and stuff like that, and having fun and all. But I want them like a big thing for me. I want to see the kids and the teens in the gym like get prepared for competitions and stuff. So hopefully it helps them along with it, like a lot of that, like.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.